We got the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. I gotta say, neither team impressed me this week. I watched both of these teams live. Cam Newton, look, I said this to Brad in the Get Paid podcast, and I know you're in the New England area, and there's two things going on here with New England. Okay, it's New England. You got Bill Belichick, smartest coaching staff in football. Always have your team, smartest team in football. Yada yada yada. Never get too far down on the Patriots because of this. The argument I made to Brad in the Get Paid podcast is part of that. Look, I love Belichick. I think he's the best football mind of all time. I do. I don't even think there's a close second at this point. He handled Bill Walsh when he was the coordinator and Bill Walsh was running the offense in San Francisco. Greatest football mind. But look, do you not think that Brady's leadership meant something to the New England Patriots? Cam Newton has looked like dog crap the last 2 weeks. He's looked bad. And I'm sorry, I just don't think he has the command of the locker room like a Brady did. And so, to me, look, the wheels aren't completely falling off for New England. And, New England has character, so I don't think they're going to go on a massive losing streak. But the idea of them being Super Bowl contenders by the time January starts, I do not see it in 2020. I just don't. But let me hit you with the fantasy football projections. Cam, I do have as a start against the Buffalo Bills defense, which, by the way, I was looking in fantasy football rankings for defenses on the waiver wire. The Bills are ranked below the freaking Denver Broncos so far this season in terms of fantasy defense. They're not playing well, everybody. We're so enamored by what the offense is doing that we're forgetting that the defense isn't playing well. Anybody can hold the Jets to 10 points. Anybody. New England Patriots, running backs to stay away from. If you're going to pick one, pick James White. Receivers and tight end, I'm staying away. Prove it to me. Move the ball. It's been a year and a half of this, New England. Come on. Enough. For the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, look, I have a start grade on him. I don't love the matchup. I think that the way to beat New England is to just run the ball down their throats, and Buffalo hasn't shown a willingness to even try to really run the ball with consistency. They're going to try to pass the ball. You got Gilmore locking up on Diggs, which, by the way, I'm not as big of a buyer on Gilmore. He's not playing as well as he was playing last year, everybody. Let's not be afraid to criticize the Patriots every now and then. But I do start Diggs, even in spite of that matchup. Cole Beasley, I think, might be the safest play here for this offense this week. Slot guy, kind of work in the middle. Man, Buffalo. Broke my heart. 8 field goal attempts, no touchdowns last week. Ridiculous. That's against the Jets. You think that they're going to get in the end zone against the Patriots? I mean, they probably will, but come on. Anyway, take it away, David.
You say it's not, the wheels might not be falling off in New England. Maybe not from a football perspective. From a fantasy football's perspective,
Completely agree.
they are falling off the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about Cam Newton to start. He's the one who this offense is being funneled through. He got one good game, my friends. Week 2 against Seattle when he went 30-44, 397 pass yards, 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns.
And everybody's been good against Seattle's defense.
You want to look at the other games? He hasn't gone over 162 passing yards in any of the other 4 games. He has 2 passing touchdowns on the year. 2 passing touchdowns on the year. One of them was against Seattle. He's got 3 games without a passing touchdown. He's got 5 rushing touchdowns. He's probably not going to – his pace right now is like 12, 13 rushing touchdowns. He's not going to hit that. So he's due for a regression on the rushing touchdown end of the spectrum. And the passing offense is just so anemic right now. Julian Edelman, 8 for 179 against those Seahawks. 4 games since, 8 for 79 total. He had 8 for 179 in one game. 8 for 79 total in the past. That's about 2 for 20 each week. He is a drop. Julian Edelman is a drop for guys like Benny Snell, Zach Moss, who we'll talk about on the other side. Zach Moss, you got no upside in Julian Edelman. Even if he has a couple more good weeks, he's not going to be in your starting lineup. And if he is, you're crazy for doing it. Mm-hmm. So he's a drop. Give up. Let go. N'Keal Harry, you should have let go a long time ago. Let go on him. James White, you should say if you're going to start someone, start him. He didn't even get a carry this past week. Damian Harris, 10 for 58. Rex Burkhead led this team in snaps. 25 snaps. Maybe it's because they were getting blown out so much they didn't want to use James White. But you can't even really rely on James White either now. I mean, all across the board, I'm ready to just throw this offense in the trash for fantasy purpose. Cam Newton, I guess because the rushing upside, it's super flex. You keep starting them.
Super flex only. Yeah.
But really, guys, it's trash. This offense is trash.
And by the way, all these people that have been hating on Tom Brady, for the last 3 or 4 years while this New England Patriots, look, I said this last year, nobody can separate. And Cam Newton's, the weird thing to me is Cam Newton's arm looks weak. I mean, his arm looks weak. I've never said that about Cam until the last couple of weeks here. His arm looks bad. His decision-making was never tip-top, even in Carolina. I mean, his highest passing efficiencies when they got Christian McCaffrey. He was throwing, 200 balls to Christian McCaffrey a year. It's a concern. I was concerned about the New England Patriots offense last year, and everybody is blaming Tom Brady for the degradation of the offense. We can say now that was, a stupid argument to make, which I always kind of thought anyway, but...
And yeah. I agree with what you've said about the Bills. The only thing I want to harp on is Cole Beasley. You said he might be he has scored double-digit fantasy points in every single game this year except for week 1. Guess how many he scored week 1?
9.5.
9.8. 9.8. He has been a double-digit
consistent
scorer. Lock it in, guys. He is as consistent as they come, and he's widely available in deeper leagues. There's utility with guys who score 10 points every week. It's not sexy. You're not going to feel great. You're not going to go shooting off fireworks in your backyard after you slot him in as your starter, but you'll get your 10 points and you'll be happy.
Yeah, I think I was going to say, I think Beasley's the most likely guy to get into the end zone for the Bills this week.
And the one other guy I want to talk about on Buffalo is Zach Moss, who has come along slowly as a rookie, had that toe injury a little bit. But I did believe in this guy as a talent coming out of Utah. He looked good. He breaks a ton of tackles on film. And it's really more about Devin Singletary ain't done a whole lot of anything. Last year, Devin Singletary, at the very least, was efficient. He averaged 5.1 yards per attempt. That's down to 3.8 this year. So Devin Singletary's not looking too good. He's not making the most of his opportunities. Zach Moss started to see a major uptick in not just touches but snaps. It was a 40-35 split Singletary Moss this week, almost right down the middle. It could be start to flip-flop soon where we start to see Moss settle in as that lead back. So he's widely available as well. He's going to be a top claim for me this week going into the waiver wire column.
Let me hit you at the line here, David. We got New England +4 versus the Buffalo Bills. Who do you got?
I'm going to take the Bills. I just don't believe in New England. I just don't.
My issue is the Buffalo Bills defense is not playing Buffalo Bills defensive football. I mean, they have holes there. This one is to me a toss-up. This is the type of game that New England wins. But again, we're talking about the character of the team. Let me say this. Before the game, and maybe in the first quarter of the game, I texted Brad, who's on the Get Paid podcast, and I said, look, Cam Newton looks like dog crap. When are they going to just rip the Band-Aid off and move to Stidham or Hoyer or whoever? And then Stidham ended up in the game. They yanked Newton, so I texted him. I was like, I told you, blah, blah, blah,
pick the next play.
I know, right? So, I think New England, and this was my concern when they signed Cam Newton, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I think New England should move to Stidham.
At least find out what they have.
Exactly.
Because at this point, it's clear Cam's gone after the year. It's a 1-year deal. It's very unlikely he's coming back.
I just don't see it. I don't see it. And he doesn't look like he's confident, like he's playing confidently. He doesn't look like he's that might be part of that arm speed I was talking about before. He might just be aiming it and be hesitant. I don't know, man. It's just not working. It's pretty obvious. If I'm going to take a team, I'm going to take New England. In this spread, both of these teams are showing me question marks. I was expecting Buffalo to blow the doors off of the Jets, and so I'm going to bang them a little bit to not get in the end zone against the Jets. Look, if you're a Super Bowl contender, Buffalo, you got to win that game 30-10. Look, you're not going to beat Pittsburgh playing that type of football. You're not going to beat Baltimore. You're not going to beat Tennessee. You're not going to beat these guys playing that kind of football. So Buffalo, I have some questions on. To me, they're still a top 10 in my power rankings, but they're in my doghouse a little bit. I'll take the Patriots to cover. Buffalo should win this game. They should. This is their time to take control of this division and win this division. Give us a new, AFC East champ. Let's see it happen, Buffalo. Prove it on the field. Next game, we